I just really want to mediate and give you guys a space to kind of talk about everything under the sun, and then most importantly, kind of what's going on in the climate of the world right now, and especially what we're living through. And I think one of the main topics that I think we can all relate on is the mental health space, and how in the LGBTQ community, how that's been for you guys through this whole COVID-19 experience, and how that's been, and how you guys are actually feeling. Not, the let's slap a smile on and talk about it, with that way. Like, how are you guys? How's everything going?
I think this is a time to uplift and amplify voices that have been traditionally marginalized, especially Black and Brown Americans. And to me, I feel like the definition of being an ally has really changed in the past couple of months. I think to be an ally, I think allyship has transitioned from a noun to an action verb. It's transition from a thing you can be to a thing you can do. So to be an ally, you have to actually work for the betterment of the community, not just be for a community. You have to actively be an ally and uplift voices, provide resources, donate, advocate, and it's just something that I think is a very important advancement in allyship for all around the country, not just for Black and Brown Americans. I think that's incredibly important. And I think there's two sides in having change in this society. I think there's change through changing societal attitudes, and then change through policy. And I think the two are very interlocked and move and similar, but at different rates. And I think it's important that I think what's been so effective about this movement is that we're attacking it from both sides.
As a cis white man, I definitely recognize my privilege, not even just, in the outside world, but also within the gay community. I think, the LGBTQ plus community, because I think there is, unfortunately, though, the LGBTQ plus community is very open and inclusive, there are parts of it that aren't. And frankly, my privilege within the community, I mean, being able to go to LA Pride or any of these Pride events and be able to see myself, but not necessarily, my friend who's trans be able to see themselves, is something that, is an issue that needs to be addressed within our community. And I think especially, with the Black Lives Matter movement, having brown and Black, queer voices heard during this time is so important when, Black trans women are being killed and nothing's being done about it.
With everything going on in the world right now, it's definitely a start, but there's still more to be done. I think especially on the social movement of talking to people who don't really understand LGBTQ plus folks, and also just looking into more states that are not as accepting, and it starts with action, it starts with stories, and just as we are doing now, talking about it, and creating this dialogue with people who possibly don't really understand LGBTQ plus folks or anything like that, and just having this dialogue is the most important part to a catalyst of acceptance and change.
There's so much going on for our youth that it's been overwhelming. And on top of that, I am always in awe of their grace and their resiliency. And so when I think about the young people on this conversation, the fact that folks can talk about it in such a thoughtful manner, I'm just constantly in awe of the young people. So it's like a combination, which I'm so impressed with their ability to manage, and so many emotions that can be overwhelming in a way that I think a lot of adults would not be able to.